ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Season 2 SPL. This time we're at the Week 2 qualifiers, so a lot of interesting stuff going on. We just saw London Conspiracy fall to Team Pointless, and we just got news that Team Dignitas fell to Spicy Waffles. However, they will still continue on because of some rules.
That's right. We were going to check out Panthera.
Right.
We're a little bit behind there, so we're going to be checking in here with Trig Esports going up against the very low-seeded Team Pointless as they try to work their way to the finals.
I mean, Trig Esports, the #1 team overall here in Europe. Well, overall as far as the qualifiers here in Europe, still no mention on SK Gaming and Titan Esports, the teams that went to the World Championships. But as far as the teams we're seeing here today, Trig Esports definitely on top. Pointless took out, as we just said, London Conspiracy. They're going to hope to do the same for Trig Esports as Trig bans out Athena.
You know, we hear they've got to ban Agni, right? You can't let Agni go through again. You know, for Lobster, I mean, he's the player that made the character as famous as he is. Janet's going to get banned here. Option over to Trig Esports. They've already taken away a support, and now they're going to take away a jungler. Circuit is gone.
Yeah, I mean, so you mentioned something interesting, and that's sort of Pointless's. They sort of have a leg up on their competition unless Trig has really done their homework. You know that you want to ban Agni against Lobster.
Right.
What do you ban against Team Pointless?
Honestly, I don't think anybody knows.
And that's the entire point. You know, Fresh Time Z, Arn King, the Pikachu, Skritwin, Flurry Q. What do these players play? We really don't have a good idea. We saw Arn King play Hell last match. Is that something he does all the time? You know, we'll see. So Trig plays it safe, bans out Athena and Circuit. Pointless bans out Giannis and Thor, actually. So I guess they're a little afraid of the Cubo Fred Thor. And Shibalaki is picked up by Trig. And Pointless goes right into the Poseidon and Ymir.
Yeah, early Poseidon, early Ymir as well. I think both of those players, though, were kind of the highlights of their team. I'm actually pretty surprised to see Skrit not go directly back into the Scylla. But Ymir is going to be locked in topside. Bastet and Shibalanke, two of the highest tier characters in the game, in my opinion, have been locked onto the same team. Still option to Trig as, whoa, Isis? Little early for Isis. I didn't see that one going anywhere. That wasn't going to get banned.
Yeah. That's an early Isis pick right there. And I think you said the pure point is Cupid gets picked up for Team Pointless and we move into a second phase of bans. Isis is a character that you and I disagree with vehemently. I think that Isis is actually very strong. You don't think so as far as that, right?
She's okay.
She's got her spot, but just not a good one-size-fits-all character. So Trig really needs to build around this Isis, but I think you mentioned the most important point, Brandon, in that Isis is not going to get banned.
You're right.
Unless you're Mace of the Face or Sayo, who no longer plays, you're not going to see an Isis ban. So it's very, very curious to me, and I would almost go so far to call this a misstep by Trig Esports to pick up Isis in the first round of picks.
Wukong gets banned out, I think, as a shot to Trig's tank. He really likes him on the support, so that's gone. Nemesis going to be taken away as well.
Yeah.
A shot to Cubo as, I'm sorry, Fenrir? Is that accurate? Yeah, Fen.
Yeah, they want to pick the dog.
I love the Fen-Cupid combo. You're dropping them right in the Mesmerize. I mean, unless you have beads, you are going to eat a lot of damage. Option backup here as we get a Sobek, it looks like, for support. Final pick's going to need to be their solo laner, at least more than likely.
Nope.
They're looking like they still need a frontline here. I would expect this to be a Warrior and Guan Yu. Okay, gets locked in. Well, wait.
Wait.
I
was just about to say this,
wait. Are they going to do the nonsense?
Yes, they are, Brandon. So for those of you unfamiliar with Trig Esports' lineup, solo laner is played by Zelia, and the support is played by Trix Tank.
Right.
Trix Tank, as you mentioned, got the Sun Wukong banned out against him. He's notorious not only for playing Sun Wukong, but for playing warriors in that Guardian position and being extremely proficient at it. And Zelia is pretty much the only person that can play solo lane Sobek at a professional level. So I think that's where we're going to see it. So Zelia is pretty much the only person that can play this at a professional level. So we're going to see Sobek in the solo lane, Guan Yu in the support role. Mark my words.
All right, so with that, it looks like we have the lineup. Hell going to be reprised as the final pick. She might be going up against Sobek.
Yeah, which that's a little bit interesting. Sobek has anti-heal.
That's true.
Sickening Strike.
Yeah, if he goes into the Divine Ruin, it could really shut her down.
It definitely can. Now Fenrir is an interesting pick. You mentioned the Fenrir Cupid. I love it because Auror is really the player that brought this to the forefront. Granted, he plays Fenrir in the support role, but the Fenrir Cupid combo is really coming out of Auror's team Fat Chunks from last season. That's really where we got to see it. Fenrir in the jungle, though, talk to me about that, because Fenrir is sort of an assassin in the early game, and then late game puts himself into too much trouble to really be worth anything.
Right. I mean, early game Brutalize is one of the most ridiculous things in the game. It can't be knocked up. It can't be slowed. It follows you through dashes. You must have a jump, a mesmerize, a stun, or a silence to be able to stop it. And from the looks of things, Isis could stop it. Sobek could fling it. Guan Yu cannot stop it at all. Bastet can jump, and then Shibalanke will eat the entire thing unless protected. Actually, no, it cannot be protected. Ganks to the duo lane. Expect a lot of them.
Yeah, I think it'll be very, very, very interesting as we head into the match right here. Trig Esports on your left versus the team we just saw win, Team Pointless.
Zaylia is really doing this. Okay, Mark of the Vanguard getting me started, as well as Rage of the Gods, not Hand of the Gods. This is going to be Hand 2. Shorter cooldown will allow him to maintain relevancy early game in the lane against Hell.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that you look at and you say, Mark of the Vanguard and Hog 2, what a strange build situation, but it's Sobek in the solo lane, and it's somebody that does it successfully. So you really have to sort of trust that this is the right way to go. As we see sort of Sobek jump in there. Take a look at Fenrir. This is a character that we talked about. So we take a look at Team Pointless, and we see what they're doing. And Arn King is going to play Hell again. Skritwin's going to play Poseidon instead of Scylla this time around, but still the same idea. Burst mages.
So looks like we have a pretty normal meta start here. Once again, no one looking for invades. Mainly right now, I would say that's a good thing for Trig, considering their early game comp is not nearly as strong. Isis decent, Guan Yu decent, Shibalanke not wonderful, Bastet okay, and Sobek just usually plain terrible comparatively to Hell, who is one of the best level 1 gods, Fenrir one of the best, Ymir has multiple options, Cupid very strong with Heart Bomb, and then Whirlpool is a great space control. So I'm actually pretty surprised to see them not go for the invade option.
I mean, to me, this probably just speaks to lack of experience on the side of Team Pointless. They just want to play it safe. They know that they can do well in the laning phase because they just did against a very successful team, but do they know that they can win a level 1 fight? That's really not, the first thing that teams sort of hit as they become more proficient together as a team. So probably just looking for the normalities right here, and Team Pointless makes their way into the solo lane along with their jungler, the Pikachu, on that Fenrir.
Actually, check out Pikachu, already taking some damage there. He does get healed up a small amount. Cuvo, though, foolishly jumps in. That could be a kill. Missed the Brutalize. How do you do that? There might be a kill here. No, healed up. Arn King gonna need one more shot. Repulse. No, not gonna need it. Unchained finds it. Cuvo put himself in a bad spot to start, and that's going to be really hard for Sobek to deal with as we push forward to the 1 minute mark.
First blood before the first minute coming out for Team Pointless. That's the team in red, folks, not the team in blue. That's not Trig Esports, so bad look for Trig, and they're going to have to pick it up somewhere else. Cubo Fred, though, that said, can definitely play from behind.
Sure.
He's a more tenured player. So what does Bastet specifically have to do as she tries to get back into this
Avoid Fenrir at all costs, I think is her best bet. I mean that. I mean, she's got to farm up. She can't go near Fen too much. Even with the health difference there, they'll be hard-pressed to take him down. He has 2 technical leaps, one of which goes very, very far. So I think it's her best bet just to split camps and keep her nose down until, there's something to be found.
So what you're saying right here is dogs are better than cats?
For at least the first 9 minutes, expected.
Dogs are always better than cats is all I hear right here, folks. So Fenrir is going to go ahead and walk out of there level 4.
Well, from behind.
That's a bunny.
Bunnies are the best.
Well, I mean, dogs just keep on winning. And the dog's going to find his way in the middle lane. Isis with the great push early game. That's really what you want to watch out for. Is this Wingus able to survive so much, especially against a Poseidon who also has great push. So we're going to see an early point in this game where there's nothing going on in the mid lane. It's just people staring each other down.
Now, something to note here is that Funball is playing Shibalanke here, and Funball is one of the players, I think, that is most notable in the world for having a very deep Hunter God pool. Funball is extremely proficient with every Hunter. So
Chronos
the meta,
as well.
Yeah, the meta switch to like Chronos, Shibalanke, Uller, and Cupid doesn't hurt him. In fact, it probably helps, if anything.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Funball definitely one of the more deeper players as far as God Pool is concerned, definitely making himself known and able to really show off his lower tier picks because now they're high tier picks. So that's definitely something he's going to be doing, already sending out those bolas in the left-hand lane. Now, Trick Tank on this Guan Yu, Brandon. And mid lane, we're going to crack it, and that's going to claim the life of Cubo Fred again. The Pikachu so low, but Lobster not able to get the Wingus that far down at all. So that's 2 kills, and both of them onto Cubo Fred, Brandon.
Bastet not having a good day.
Not at all, especially a character you keep mentioning that Bastet, one of the more proficient level 5ers.
By far.
So that's going to, when she hits level 5, it'll unfortunately be a little bit behind.
She actually did hit 5 now, but choosing very smartly not to take the cats. Mid lane, stun, doing some damage. Trix tank helping to answer back. Killing the Scritwig will do very well, but I think that one went to Trix as opposed to Isis there. Lobster not going to have that extra gold.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but Trix tank make the right play for sure. Absolutely loved the single hit coming out from the Guan Yu, shortening the ultimate to really ensure that stun. Right here, Cuvo Fred trying to make it back. He's waiting in the solo lane for Hell to be a little bit out of position. Hell's a great matchup for Cuvo Fred on this Bastet.
Oh, speaking of Cuvo Fred, he's not in a great spot here. It looks like Pikachu will let it go. Right there, though, I think that Zaylia had a bit of a misplay. He took a lot of damage trying to hold that 25 gold off the tower. Yep. Had he let it in and just focused one of the archers down, he would have lost 7 gold from what he gained, but he would have gained about 250 health overall from it, maybe a little bit less, but he's forced back now. It looks like he's going to pick up full Shoes of Focus for extra cooldown reduction, so Divine Ruin on hold.
Interesting choice right there not to see the gang go down in the solo lane. I would have liked to see Cuvo jump in there before the rotation came out. I thought they could have been able to get something, but opting not to instead. Middle lane, both of them are going to be rotating over to the left-hand side, just taking a look at their individual vision. Both mid laners have wards out there, so they want to be careful. They want to be vigilant, and that's what they're looking for. So taking a look at the junglers, Fenrir still trying to make something happen right here in this middle lane, but not able to do so. Lobster, a little too smart for that.
There are no beads currently on the side of Trig Esports against a level 7 Fenrir. That is a recipe for absolute and imminent death.
Yeah, I mean, Fenrir has two things.
This is it right here. This is guaranteed. Like, unless Isis gets some janky route through the jungle, she's getting gripped, and she's going down. Kraken going to be activated here. See you later, Lobster. You're not getting out of that one. Hopefully you come back with beads, or I'll see you in 90 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, that's the power of Fenrir right there as he claims another life again onto Cuvo Fred. 4 kills on for Pointless, and 3 of those being the jungler on the side of Trig Esports. And a 5-minute gold fear is not happening, but a 5-minute bait is. Jump for the stun onto the Pikachu, but a bad stun coming out from Ymir, and that's going to be not good enough as Team Pointless slinks back into the jungle. But Fenrir, the Pikachu, so much setup.
Right. I mean, this is what we should see.
Exactly.
He's brutalizing on people who can't get away from it. He's making sure he's dragging people into Krakens. Expect that with the beads pickup here, he's going to change his target. I'm expecting to see more ganks on the duo lane as they're going to start picking off Shibalanke. Right now, where's the Fields of Love? Why are they not going for this kill? This is guaranteed.
Yeah, they're playing it. They're playing it safe. There it is, right there. Good stun into the ultimate. That's what he was waiting for. The 1-2 combo. Round and round the horse goes. Cuvo Fred finally gets a kill onto him as well. Heart bomb on the Guan Yu. Is it enough? And it is from a distance.
Happy New Year, buddy.
Fresh Time Z gets the kill.
No dumplings for Guan Yu. He's down. But we got some dumplings here. He's staying alive. Oh, unchained over the minions there. Manages to find another kill. Now remember, Fenrir is taking a lot of this gold. Endgame doesn't do super well, but if he can get this far ahead of Bastet, he's already 700 gold ahead. If they can look for an early gold, this will be big.
I mean, I always talk about how much of a misconception it is to call Thanatos a character that falls off, and that's a much different conversation. But Fenrir sort of falls into that same category, Brandon, where he does fall off, but if he can get enough ahead like he is right now, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're ahead by 5 levels and 3,000 gold, a lot of that on one character. The Fenrir will fall off eventually, but if he's that much far ahead, he won't.
That's right, exactly. I mean, if he gets into the late game before anyone else and goes into like an attack speed lifesteal build, he'll be impossible to kill. A little bit of tankiness, a little bit of lifesteal with something like Aussie or even Bloodforge. You know what I would really like to see? We have a Fenrir, right? We have a Cupid.
Right.
I would like to see Soul Eater.
Oh,
I love it.
I love it. So see, Soul Eater is an item that people always talk about. Why haven't they removed? Soul Eater is a good item just with awkward stats.
Right.
Made for Naja. Made for Fenrir.
Exactly.
These characters that jump in and miss, unfortunately.
Speaking of jumping in, right?
Can't hit them all, folks. And that Fenrir is going to make his first mistake of the game. The Pikachu is level 10, though, above the enemy jungler. Level 8, it looks like. So Cuvo Fred needing a little bit of help right there. But, you know, Fenrir is the character that we were talking about. Soul Eater is an item that gives you health, lifesteal, attack. That's everything that a bruiser fighter really wants.
Plus an aura.
Exactly.
You're looking at like 25% lifesteal, 10 power, 300 health, and 10% attack speed. As a character like Fenrir, who also does very well with Seething Howl, attack speed's going to affect that greatly. The amount of lifesteal that he would gain just from those two things is enough to make him box out almost anyone in the game.
Yeah, I mean, and that thought process, the thought process of going basic attack Fenrir actually, I think the first time we saw that in professional play comes from a North American player that's
Wolfie.
not very good. Yeah.
Oh, hey,
no, not very good as far as the team situation is concerned. Wolfie's a character. Wolfie's a player over the North American scene that really does a lot. Hasn't been able to find his stride on the right team just yet, but these are the things that he brings to the table. And this lifesteal, almost sometimes crit Fenrir build has transitioned into the late game. These are the things he brings to the table, and you see the ripples it makes. We've got Team Pointless, an up-and-coming team from Europe, taking that into account.
Did you see what happened there with Fenrir? He missed the brutalize there directly after the jump. He's going to be throwing himself back to the base there to buy up again. Jotun's Wrath already on cooldown comparatively to Bastet, who is likely building into Transcendence second for the extra burst. Doomorb online as well for Isis. Has a lot of burst damage herself, but could be in some trouble as she has very little defense.
Yeah, that Doomorb is a little bit curious. Doomorb on like Poseidon as well. Only 2 stacks to 48 though.
You know, I really like this item. I think that the math somewhere dictates, comparatively to Book of Thoth, cost effectiveness is like 7 stacks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a strong item in the current meta. The issue is that, yes, you can lose your stacks, and playing it from behind isn't great, but I think Poseidon was right on the money to build it here.
Yeah, Doomorb essentially, you need 7 stacks in order for it to just be good enough, and 13 stacks for it to be better than anything you could buy with the gold you would get by selling it, because it's 1,900 gold.
No, it's cheaper now. It's like 17 something. I thought.
That's even more ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a crazy good item.
It's just so incredibly cheap, and you can get those stacks on so early. Again, want to reference Wolfie, do more hell.
F-Dot, I have a question.
Shoot.
Like, seriously, why is he so back? I mean, I understand the jankiness. I get that it works in some ways, but we're in the mid-game. This is where he's strongest. He's not making plays. He has no pressure as considering that, you know, Bastet isn't ahead. I can see if they were going for the early invades or early pressure on the side, but they're not gaining anything from this. Had he have picked a solo laner that would function a little bit stronger, it could be better. Funball's dead.
Left-hand side, Funball just completely eliminated. Here comes Cubo trying to make something happen. Cats are out. So is the damage, and down goes the support. Can he make it a 2-timer? First time Z gets the heart bomb. That's going to be enough to really deter him from doing much. But here comes the Wingus. 3 out of 4 hits. Gets the Spirit Ball point blank, and down goes the Hunter. Meanwhile, in the jungle, you've got a Guan Yu chasing a Kraken. Great ground control immunity right there. Trick Tank gets the kill on the mid laner, but out comes Fenrir.
Wow, I'm really surprised at the way that burned down. Trick Tank with great baits here. Here comes the Fling Pikachu. One hit.
There's Xaylia.
Dash Xaylia rotating all the way over, and strangely to a side of the map that Arn King should have been able to rotate to faster. Looks like Trig Esports not out just yet. Still down 1,500 gold thanks to that Gold Fury, but the experience difference is only 400 and has been close to normalized.
Hey, Brandon, what question did you just pose to me less than a minute ago?
He could have did that with Tyr. He could have did that with
He
Hercules.
could have blinked and 180 it, or okay.
He could have did it with Osiris.
No, but here actually this is a really cool point in my opinion, because I think that solo lane Sobek makes 0 sense. I don't think that he gets strong with a lot of farm. I don't think he impacts the game in the late game the way some of the other characters can do it.
His front lane isn't that strong.
Exactly, but here's the thing. Xaylia does it a lot. Xaylia wins with it a lot. Xaylia makes it happen. So I think that there are better choices, but it doesn't matter. When a player feels comfortable and can do something with it, you see all sorts of things happen. So is there a better overall choice? Sure, maybe. Is there a better choice for Xaylia? Maybe not. And that's why you pick it. It's all about the individuals of the team as we see this Gold Fury go down.
Oh, big time Kraken. They're going to take the Gold Fury. They might lose something here, but no, Fenrir is getting out. Lobster's taken. Lobster's done.
Yeah, that one's going to hurt right there as Fresh Time Z picks up another kill. The baby. This time it's Cupid, not Vamana. 4-1-1 is the slash line, and we'll give you the info on the teams. 3,200 gold on the way of the red side team, 1,500 experience, 9-6 read the kills as well, and we're just under 13 minutes in this contest, so Team Pointless again leading a team that the favorites arguably are on the losing side.
That's right. I mean, they're dominating this game, 3,200 gold deep at this stage, and honestly, they don't show any signs of slowing. In fact, it's quite the opposite. With Fumball being 0 kills right now compared to Cupid at 4, the gold difference is massive at 1,000. Take a look at Guan Yu here, trying to keep pace. He's level 11 to 12, but again, down about 400 gold. Mid lane, we see about a 400 gold difference as well, but here's where things start to get a little bit crazier. 800 gold here for Fenrir over Bastet. Now, like you said, Fenrir doesn't do well in the endgame, but either does Bastet. I mean, Bastet is not a character that functions super well at level 20 unless she is the only level 20. In this case, Fenrir is going to be a lot more useful in the later stages of the game than Cubo Fred will. And then finally, I'm thinking that Zalia's strengths are the same as his weaknesses here, and that's going to be his god pool. He's choosing to play a god in this role to maybe jank out his opponents, and it's not working. Sure, he's a level ahead, but in the endgame, Inspire's going to do a lot more than Sickening Strike.
It definitely will. And like I said, it's all about the player comfort. So Zalia, I've seen Zalia do it. You've seen Zalia do it. Zalia could definitely make it happen with that Sobek pick, but it's definitely a curious choice. Now, this Fenrir, as you said, Bastet at level 20 is able to get in and get out. Jump in, put a bleed on, jump out. Fenrir can't really do that. But again, with the nod to Wolfie from the North American side of things, if you go this lifesteal build into the end game, if you go this maybe even a Deathbringer build as we go into the end game, right now we have exactly what we want to see. Damage boots, Jotun's Wrath into a defensive item, most likely a Magi's Blessing because of the nature of the character. And there he is right now, one more time, setting up the Kraken, and that time the kill's going to go to the big wolf. And the dog takes the kill. The Pikachu with one more on the side of his kill slash line, not going to chase Trix Tank under that tower. But as we see this build transgress in the late game, Brandon, you get some lifesteal and some crit. That might be the trick, and Wolfie's going to be at home giving himself a high five, saying, "Look at the new guys taking my builds."
That's right. Now, like you said, it could be Magi's. I think what I would like to see here is Spirit Robe. I mean, he doesn't really need it. He already has beads, right? So the Magi's not going to be super effective. He has CC immunity as well, and if he manages to get hit with a hard CC during Ragnarok, it's going to get wasted. So I would like to see a Spirit Robe that would actually maybe overcap him by 5%, but the amount of damage reduction it's going to give would be big. I also wouldn't mind seeing a Hide of the Urchin.
Yeah, the Heart of the Urchin is usually the way I like to go. Taking a look at this team, Brandon. Zalia, no hard CC. Cuvo Fred, no hard CC. Lobster, hard CC, but he's going to want to use it for damage most of the time. Trix Tank, hard CC on the Initiate. Funball, no hard CC. So with only 2 hard CCs on the enemy team, Spirit Robe is usually my go-to item, but for this particular team, because there's not enough CC, I want to see the Urchin.
Fair point. Urchin, definitely the most viable, and to the same point of the Magi's, if he builds Magi's into that little hard CC,
exactly.
And when he already has beads,
yep.
maybe then I would have liked to see the Magi's Blessing and not the beads. Maybe see a Creeping Curse, or something similar. Lobster in some trouble there. That protection circle, you must be inside of it for it to protect you.
And I mean that's pretty much what the Pikachu has been doing. And really, I want you to think, because Brandon, you've been in the scene for a long time as this mid tower undoubtedly goes down. That'll be the first structure of the game, folks. 16 minutes in, and Team Pointless takes out Trig Esports mid lane tower. When was the last time a jungle Fenrir actually impacted a game at professional level?
Jungle, hard to say.
Exactly. We see a lot solo.
Solo, Divios, he really almost won that game in regionals. It was pretty incredible. Zalia's in some trouble here, stuck in a whirlpool, taking some damage in the back line. Trix Tank trying to answer back as Cats are going to chase down Flurry Q. Unchained and unbound, we see Fenrir having no issue whatsoever, taking down another kill. Zalia is going to be blocked out. Cubo Fred's in a real bad spot, and he's going to hold this damage. He still has a few more seconds, and there goes the Brutalize. Another kill for Pikachu.
Yeah, just being chased by 4 members in red right there, and half HP on Fenrir, and a little bit less than that onto the support Ymir Flurry Q, but it looks like they're going to go anyway. Between Hell and Fenrir, the Hell heal and the damage coming out from Fenrir level 16, it might just be enough. Using all the abilities on this Fire Giant, they're going to go ahead, folks, and they're going to pick it up. Team Pointless, 17 minutes into this match, pick up the Fire Giant. That is 5 members with the orange belt walking around the map, and this is going to be an interesting situation. I want to see where they go this early with this Fire Giant buff and this lead. They're leading by about 3, 5, 6,000 gold. I want to see where they turn their sights. Do they go solo lane, or do they go back to the mid lane?
I mean, solo lane seems like the best to me. Xaylia will have absolutely no defense here.
Exactly.
I mean, he's put up the second lowest damage in the game compared to Ymir. He has no way to heal his team. He has no defense except for Sickening Strike against any kind of repeated sieging. And with Fire Giant plus a Hell on the team, so far Arn King seems to be uncontested.
Yeah, really.
People are letting Hell get away with being Hell. And I think this is the same thing we saw from Worlds, where Ares was getting picked every game and getting banned out because Cognitive is just like, oh my god, we're getting pulled. We should run away instead of just killing him. And after the game, Barracuda even said, what do we do? I'm like, did you forget you could just kill him? He goes, kind of.
I mean, Ares a little bit more tanky than Hell in that situation, but the same thought process seems to be coming out. I love that anecdote because Arn King is the epitome of somebody you can just kill, and they're just not going for it.
He doesn't even have beads. Like, he's just letting this happen.
Yeah, I mean, again, and this time around, we see the Lotus Crown. Hell is a character where the Lotus Crown really shines. For those of you at home that don't know, Lotus Crown gives a buff to your teammates when you heal them. 20 physical protection and 20 magical protection for 5 seconds every time you heal. That's an absurd amount of healing. And right here, the enemy team needs a little bit of it. Skritwin takes out Funballer on the backside. The Pikachu gets a kill, as well does Cubo Fred. So right now we're looking at a 2-on-1 right here.
Oh my god.
Fresh Time Z gets it from a distance. Great accuracy. 3 down for the side of Trig Esports as they push onto the Phoenix. The Pikachu gets one more kill onto the Crocodile. Xaylia's going to fall down one more time. Trixank the only one alive, and they're going to push this left-hand Phoenix with 20+ seconds with everybody on the team but the Guardian. That is a dead bird.
This should be GG. They need to push in right now and end this. They cannot give Trig an answer.
They're going for it, Brandon. You've asked for it for 3 matches in a row, and they are not going to take the passive route this time. They're going to head in there right now.
50%.
50%, 30, it's even lower. Trixank gets a kill out of the Pikachu. That's going to be a real big hit to the amount of damage.
25.
But it doesn't matter. It don't matter. Funball takes some, and it's not enough.
Oh, 10%. It's sitting at 10. They can't reset it here.
It's not enough.
They didn't focus it. They were going for kills. Too much damage on the Funball. Fast Time's going to go down as well. You know, they were looking for the kills there. They were trying to be fancy, and at 9%, it resets back up to 24. But honestly, the damage has been done. They can wipe all they want.
Yeah.
They could walk into that base and look at that Titan the wrong way, and it's going down.
So we've seen it. You've asked for it, and you got it.
No, that didn't count.
That's why you just don't go in there, Brandon.
That's
why you take out the Phoenixes,
they were
Brandon.
Attacking Guan Yu.
That's why you take out the Phoenixes, Brandon. You got to go with the typewriter play.
So,
left, middle, right.
What I wanted to see there, as soon as Cupid started getting blocked by Trixank, he should have fluttered to the other side. Fenrir should have traded out the immediacy. I mean, he took, I can't even imagine, literally thousands of damage from that Titan because he didn't reset it. He jumped in. He shouldn't have. He should have just used Seething Hell for the burst. They misplayed the pressure. But honestly, with the way that they've done so far, I can't imagine that they're going to wind up dropping this game. They're in such a great position. 8,500 ahead in gold, 6,600 in experience.
So I mean, realistically, Brandon, the idea to jump in was the right one, and I'll explain to people. I'll explain to you guys at home why it was a little bit different than the sitting area. You take a look at the mid and the right-hand lane. Mid lane still has a tower up. Right-hand lane has 2 towers up. If these structures are down, you don't go for the Titan, you go for the Phoenixes. But because they're still there and it's so much more time, you roll the dice and you go for the Titan. As Brandon had mentioned, if the mechanics from Team Pointless were 100% on point, it would have been a dead Titan.
60%.
It was a good decision because of the amount of structures in their way. That's the difference between the reasoning of going right for the Titan versus hitting up some extra Phoenixes.
Well, they take 2 more structures down, and that's going to do a big thing for their goal, putting them over 10K in the lead now as Fire Giant primes himself for a return. About 30 seconds away now. He does get ready a little bit faster than the Gold Fury, which is important, I think.
He doesn't have to clean up his pores.
Yeah, man. They got to get ready.
Middle lane, good blink coming out from Flurry Q. Only one frozen though, and it's Funball in the back. Trixank going very fast on that horse. Well, Cubo, Fred, and Xaylia trying to provide damage up front, but Xaylia, he gets a kill, but his entire life pool is taken away by Fresh Time Z. Kill credit goes the other way. Funballer takes out Flurry Q, so it's 2 dead for Trig, 2 dead for Team Pointless. This could be a big play for the team in blue.
Circle of Protection not going to protect enough, as the Brutalize plus Fresh Time auto attack's going to do more than enough to clean that one up. Honestly, I would be very upset with the way things went if I was Flurry Q there. blocking out 2 of the biggest damage dealers and only getting 3 kills off of that for that long. Still, they managed to make it work. Pikachu doing beautifully this game. I'm taking a look at the damage charts here, and while he's not on top, I think he's playing Fenrir beautifully. 11,000 damage, closer to 12. Behind Bastet, curiously enough, but Cupid doing more than his share of the work, getting close to 16K.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the damage on the Fenrir could be attributed, a lot of the damage on the Poseidon could be attributed to Fenrir. Funball just being taken out completely by the enemy Hunter Fresh Time Z.
This is it.
And the Titan, right, one more time, as we mentioned, was already low, and they're going to go ahead and put it in and take it out and finish it right there.
Can we,
ladies and gentlemen?
Let's take a moment here and just respect the fact that top-seeded, seemingly undefeatable Trig Esports has been defeated in the round of 4 against an unseeded team.
Yeah, I mean, that unseeded point, I'm sorry to cut you off, right? I'm just so excited that an unseeded team took off. How many times, not just in this broadcast, last week's broadcast, the random seeding show that we had, how many times did we mention that Trig Esports looked unkillable?
Right. I mean, we kind of thought that in the same thing of North America, they were the complexity, right? That they weren't going to be beaten.
Even stronger than complexity in some people's eyes.
Chill with all that.
I mean, the distance
Have
between...
you seen Cyclone Spin?
What I'm saying is the distance. A lot of people at home thought, and myself included, the distance between the number 1 and the number 2 seeds was a lot bigger here in Europe. The Trig Esports looked so huge.
Do you think we'll see a new number 1 seed?
I'm not too sure if we'll see a new number one seed. I'm not exactly going to go ahead and crown Pointless the new kings, but they earned this. This was not an accidental win. They take out Trig Esports, and they move on. Let's take a look at the whole scene, though, as we take a look at the brackets right here and see where everyone else lands.
Yeah, Team Pointless going to find themselves in finals expectedly, I think, by everyone against Panthera. Once again, Team Dignitas is going to fight for 3rd place, but this time they have a much harder opponent as Trig Esports has found themselves in consolation.
Yeah, Panthera's going to make it to the finals against Team Pointless. Now, Panthera is a very, very good team, spearheaded by hi-rez. I say spearheaded by hi-rez, but he's not even the strongest player on this team.
I disagree.
They've got a lot of players on the team. I like what hi-rez does. What he does is he brings assassins into the support role, and they sort of switch around their.
I think hi-rez is the best player in Europe.
I need backup.
In Europe. I mean, my man consistently shines. I mean, of course, he had that 13-minute mark where they're like, oh no, it's 13 minutes. I'm no longer useful as a jungler.
Which is why he's sort of switched to the support role.
Right, and now, I mean, his constant pressure, I think he might be the best support player in Europe, and I think he is equal on par with Incontinent and Jeff Hindler right now.
Interesting. We're going to take a look at that undoubtedly. I mean, hi-rez definitely wants to take a look at sort of expanding that God pool, and we'll see that in the finals. But first, we're going to take a look at that 3rd round matchup one more time. Trig Esports not headed to the finals. Going to go to the 3rd round matchup against Team Dignitas.
Yeah.
And that's who we're going to see in that point. So stay tuned. Grab some chips. We'll be right back in about 5. We'll see you soon.